Hello. It's been a while. It's been about a year since I've last posted a video here. As you can see, I've moved to a new location since the last time you saw me. I got a cat since the last time you saw me as well. Her name is Scarlet. She does not like to be held. Over the last year, while I wasn't posting any videos, I haven't exactly been doing nothing online. I did post a couple of pictures on my DeviantArt, and I attempted to do some videos on some other channels, but I'm going to go into more depth with that later in the video. Judging by the description or the title, I'm going to be making this video another coloring video in addition to the yearly review that I usually do. And so I'll be going into more depth about some of those things that I've been doing in the last year there. As I had said before, it has been a little while since I had talked to you guys. I had been not posting any videos to my channel for the last year or so, and I really needed some time to just step back and reflect on my channel, on what I wanted to do, and see if I could think of other ways to reinvigorate that creative spark. I really hadn't felt it since probably the first year or so, without getting any traction, without getting any interest. It was just, I was burnt out after year one, because I was putting a lot of energy and time into making these videos, and then really after year 2, year 3, when I was out of school and I was working, and it's like I basically had to kind of pick, like, do I want to continue spending so much of my free time that is so limited now making videos that no one wants to watch, or do I want to spend the time doing things for myself? And ultimately I decided that I would make it to the 5-year mark, but up till then, a couple of months before I made my 5-year video, I had stopped posting videos because I didn't want to start a new gaming series. I had just finished Arkham City, and I didn't feel like making any more movie reviews. I didn't want to draw anymore and do any more commentary there. So that's kind of why I stopped posting videos to my channel for the last year or so. And again, this is not going to be a year, like, this is probably going to be a yearly update of just like, hey, I've done something within the last year. So I probably won't be in the habit of posting videos here again until next year. But while we're here, we can talk about some stuff. As you can see, I have a bit of a new coloring and inking method that I've been using for the last couple of months. I discovered how to use layers properly, because it's like I had kind of an idea of what layers were and everything like that, but it's like I didn't really, like, I didn't want to try it because it was new, and I was like, I already have something that works, so I'll just keep doing that. But then one day I decided I'm going to try using layers, and it changed my whole life. Layers is so much easier because you just create a new transparent layer, you draw, like, you ink your whole sketch and make it look good, and then you can just go back to the bottom layer and you can color freely. You don't have to worry about erasing your lines that you just spent 30, 40, 50 minutes inking. And it just changed my life and how much time it takes to actually color for me. I probably spent about 3 hours, 4 hours total on this project over the course of 2 days. I spent about an hour inking, and then I spent probably another 2 or 3 hours just coloring and shading. And my shading is not particularly good. If you were to ask me, I'd probably say that my shading and my lights are probably my weakest points. I really enjoyed. I love the initial sketch. I love inking. I love the base colors. I love that whole process. It's just when it comes to rendering images, I find it extremely difficult because I can look at these well-rendered images and well-rendered pieces of art and think, wow, that looks amazing. I'd love for my art to look like that. But then when I sit in front of the canvas and I start actually shading or trying to play around with lights and backgrounds and everything, it's just like, I have no idea how to even start something like that. And maybe someday in the future I'll try to take an art class or something and just try to, because I want to improve for myself. I don't really think that my art career is ever going to be a career. I think it's just going to have to stay a hobby for pretty much ever. So why I chose to draw Velvela again? Because, well, to be honest, she is my second most viewed video I've ever released. And I decided that since people really seemed to like my drawing of her last time, that I wanted to draw her again. And it's as simple as that. I believe that video is sitting at somewhere around 300 views. I'll have to look that up later. But it is my second most viewed video, and the only other video that has more views than that is my little sketch I had about the top 10 secrets the government doesn't want you to know. And I think a lot of people clicked on that because they thought it was actual secrets that the government didn't want you to know. They didn't know that it was a joke. And then a lot of people were like clicked off of it when they realized it was a joke. So, because if you look at the statistics for that video, you see a lot of people watched that first couple of seconds and then they all disappeared. They all dropped off because they didn't like the joke or something. As I had alluded to in the little pre-ramble, I had a couple of projects that I tried to get off the ground that didn't really go anywhere. It was about a couple of months ago, right around the time quarantine started and everyone was stuck inside, and I had found myself with a lot of free time. I was blowing through my images and blowing through just getting all my backlog of stuff colored, and I'm like, oh wow, I was in a really creative atmosphere. I felt good. I was like, I'm blowing all my art projects out of the water, and I was like, I want to take on some new tasks. And I thought about what I wanted to do. And I had been watching a lot of Jaden Animations and Odd Ones Out and just a lot of that animatic style of storytelling. And I thought, I have a couple of cool stories that I wanted to tell. I had my experience at PAX. I had a couple of other stories that I thought would be interesting to make little animatics about. And so I sat down. I recorded a story that I thought was interesting, kind of an intro story to my life or whatever, and then I made an animatic for the entire thing, and then just as I was editing it, I decided that I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I recorded the audio. It was all too soft and melancholy, and it was just like, it's not really the vibe I want to give, especially on a first video like that. So I scrapped the whole thing. I deleted the whole project. But then I was like, I'm determined to make something of this style. So I started again. I thought of the story about my trip to PAX, my first trip to PAX back in 2015, where I met all of my favorite gaming YouTubers, And I was like, oh, that's a perfect story to tell. So I actually wrote a script this time. I recorded it all out, and I was like, all right, this is perfect. I made the animatic for it all, like over 100 images for just a short, like 15, 20-minute animatic or something. And, you know, it's not like animated or anything. It's just, there's no like moving pictures. It's just one picture to the next picture to the next picture. It's like, anyway, I post it to one of my third channels. It's a channel called Desmond Relic. It had no videos. And I'm like, oh, it's perfect, you know, I can just release it there, see how it does, and if people like it, I can keep going. And then I release it. I don't promote it at all. I just kind of let it ride out on its own wings, and it dies immediately because I didn't do anything. And there it is. It's out there now. It has 0 views. It's got no comments, and it's been buried because I didn't do anything to help it survive. In terms of, you know, other projects that I started, I thought, oh, I'll do like a little Patreon thing and, like, you know, try to make some money off of any of my art drawings or something. I don't know why I thought that would work, because again, I didn't have any promotion for it. I didn't have any, like, marketing toward it. It was just like, I'm like, and I don't make any views or likes off of the pictures that I post for free. I don't know why I thought that people would be interested in seeing the posts that I want people to pay $1 for. But, you know, I felt really creative, and I felt like I still felt that feeling of I want to share my artistic or opinions with the world, and I'm constantly being told by the world that we don't want to hear your opinion. We don't want to see your art. But anyway, enough of that. We'll go on to the next topic of discussion, which is my cat. About a couple of months ago, I got a cat, and it's as simple as that. It was a little bit more complicated because all of the animal shelters in my area were basically completely empty, which is a good thing. All the pets were adopted, but it was a bad thing for me because I wanted a cat. In addition to that, about 10 or 9 months ago, I moved out of my parents' house. And that's another big life moment for me, because I had been at my parents' house since I was born. I had lived there all my life. But let's talk about the plans for the future. My plan for the future of this channel is to be what it was a year ago when I said I was going to stop making videos, and that maybe someday I'd return. And that's kind of how I feel about it again. I'm going to probably take another year off to just focus on the things that make me the happiest, and maybe I'll feel inclined to post videos again, or I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea how I'll feel a month from now, how I'll feel a year from now. Maybe I'll decide that it's time to just stop altogether. But for now, it is my plan to at least have another update video for you in a year. I cannot guarantee that that will happen. Who knows if I'll be here in a year? Who knows if the whole world will be here in a year? Anything could happen. But I would like to say that I'll be here. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed the picture, and I'll talk to you guys in a year from now. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I probably will not be posting again for at least until next year. I do kind of like filming these little yearly check-ins, even if I'm not posting every day or every week like I was for a while. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next year.